Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Takeaway Tip Tuesday. It is Tuesday, February 6th, 2018, and I'm your host, Ramona Remisat, intuitive guidance coach, angel therapy practitioner, speaker, and co-author of 2 Amazon bestsellers, 365 Days of Angel Prayers, and 365 Ways to Connect with the Soul. Wow, we already have Joanne here, Angela here. Hello, hello. Thank you for watching and tuning in. That's awesome. As people are coming in, feel free to let me know who's on, where you're coming in from. The more, the merrier. So I all hope you had a wonderful weekend. Over here, we had a heck of a lot of snow dumped on us. I was actually supposed to go snowshoeing on Sunday, but the access roads to the trail we wanted to go on were closed. So much for that. We'll have to give it a second try. Angela, hello, great topic today. I'm so excited that you're pumped for it because I'm pumped for it too. And it's really come as a result of the big reveal that we had a few weeks ago, right? Where the angels have been like pestering me to share this message that we need to ask for help, right? They're saying you guys are working way too hard. You need to start asking for help from people around you and from, your spiritual team, right? Your angels, your guides, your guardian angels, deceased loved ones, so that they can get to work on things for you. And since I've shared that message, now people are confused. They're like, well, is there like a special way I'm supposed to ask for guidance? Is there like a secret? So the answer to that is yes and no. So that's why I wanted to do today's broadcast. Oh, Yolanda's back from New Zealand. Awesome. So great to have you here. And so that's why I wanted to share this with you, to clear up the confusion around this about, is there a right way to ask for divine guidance? And like I said, it's kind of yes and no. It's not really like there's hard and fast rules. It's more of like there are some nuances that you want to be aware of, okay? So that's what today's topic is. Just before I get started on that, it is February. It is the month of love. So I wanted to share something special I'm doing for people. This month, I'm doing some romance readings. So whether you're in a relationship or you're not, or you are in one and you feel like you could tweak some things, this is your opportunity to find out what the romance angels have for you to know about. And we're going to do this really simply. It's an email reading. So you email your questions specific to romance or love, and then I will do a short reading using my romance angel cards and send the full transcript, everything that comes through in the reading, you get it back, plus a photo of your cards. And the reason why the photo is so important is because as you sit and look at those pictures, you're going to get insights that come up. And that is just as important as anything that I share with you, if not more important. So you definitely want to, really take the time to connect with your cards and to sit with them and really get those extra messages and insights. So you get that for $27. That's it, just $27 for these romance readings. And if you're interested in that, you can post below or you can send me a private message and I will get you added to the list. So that's all I want to share about that. Let's get going with today's topic, how to ask for divine guidance. And these are the 5 sort of things that you need to consider to get answers to your burning questions. All right, so the first part is, or the first key is breathe. Now, I know this sounds so basic, like way too simple, but it's really, really important. And here's why, okay? The word breath actually comes from the root inspire, which means to take in or breathe in spirit. So as you're breathing deeply, you are connecting to spirit. It's like, having that connection, like your internet connection, or when you place a telephone call, right? You're setting that connection so that the two parties can communicate, right? So that's what the breath is all about, and why it's so important. It's also why it's mentioned in so many spiritual practices as being a pivotal piece. So think of prayer, think of meditation, think of yoga, right? They all focus on this deep, deep breathing. So very important when you want to connect with the divine to get answers to your questions. So the problem with that, though, is when we're stressed, when we're worried, when we're overwhelmed, we're not thinking about our breathing, are we? No, in fact, we're probably doing what I call more of that panicked breathing. It's kind of like breathing from your shoulders. You're like, oh my God, what do I do? Right? You're doing this. You're not getting that big deep breath in, and it's kind of like this paradox that the more help you need, the deeper you should be breathing, but we don't do that. So I have a challenge for you. Throughout the day today, and if you have to have a reminder and put up a sticky note or something, do that. But check in with yourself. Notice how you're breathing. Are you doing that shallow breathing? Are you holding your breath? Are you just kind of semi-breathing, like, you know, like kind of like what I would say, I guess, normal? Or are you getting that big deep breath, right? Think about that. Check in with yourself and notice. Now, I'm not saying you have to be like doing this big yoga breathing all day long, but if you're trying to check in and get some divine guidance, that's when you want to take a few moments to stop, even close your eyes, take in the nice, big, deep belly diaphragm breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And do that a few times until you feel, you know, like you're starting to establish that connection. Like I said, hi, Nicole, nice to have you here too. Right? Until you kind of, like I said, set that connection, the phone line, the internet connection, whatever you want to envision, you're on one end and the divine is on the other, right? So, you know, you're making the connection. All the parties are ready to now communicate, right? So that's what the breath is about. So that's step one, or key number one. Okay, anybody have any questions on that? Make sense? Sorry, I just got to fix this thing over here. It's bugging me. All right, so on to the next part. When you have taken a few moments and you feel centered and you've had those nice big breaths, then ask your question. All right, now this is where there is no right or wrong way. You can think it in your head. You can say it out loud. You could write it down either like by hand or on a computer, whatever it is. It doesn't matter the mechanisms of how you ask, but there is a key. Hi, Mandy. Nice to have you here too. There is a key. The key is you want to ask an honest question. And what I mean by honest question is not what you think you should ask, you know, like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to the universe or God or, you know, whoever you resonate with, right? And you're thinking, you know, how should I ask that question? You want to ask a question from your heart. That's what Spirit connects with, and Spirit communicates to you through your heart, right? So you want to ask a heartfelt question. After all, that's probably what you're really there for, what you really want to know. You don't want to ask something kind of on the surface level when you really want to get down to the meat and potatoes of it all, right? So you want to ask a true and honest question. Oh, thank you, Nicole. I appreciate the hearts. I guess it's resonating, right? Not the what should I ask? Like, what do you feel in your heart that you need to ask? So ask the question. Okay, now the next thing that you want to consider is this. This is kind of what do I want to say? A heads up, I guess, if you will. A lot of people out there have problems or issues about accepting help, right? We don't even want to accept help from people. Somebody might say, hey, I can come over for a couple hours and help you with that. And we're like, oh, no, it's okay. I got it, right? We have trouble accepting help. So if you think about this for a minute, you're asking God or universe or creation or whatever you are asking for help, and you can't accept help from people, that might be a bigger stretch and feel very uncomfortable for you at some level. In fact, that's why people don't ask for help sometimes, right? They're like, who am I to ask God for help? Oh my gosh, I'm just like little old me, right? So you have some hang-ups around that is basically what I'm trying to say. And so taking that further, a lot of us have hang-ups around deservingness, self-worth. Again, I don't deserve to talk to heaven. I'm not worthy of that, and blah, blah, blah. And you might have never consciously said those things to yourself, but trust me, there's probably a little teeny bit of that simmering under the surface somewhere. All right, do you guys relate to this? Do you kind of get what I'm saying? Give me a thumbs up or a heart if that's back to the video. All right, so that's, like I said, oh, thank you. Good, Nicole. I'm glad that's making sense. So then what? Okay, so we have these hang-ups. Now what am I supposed to do? Does that mean I can't get clear guidance when I'm asking for it? No, it just means you need to work on that. So I don't want to leave you hanging. I want to give you something that can help you release some of that fear that you might have about, asking the big guns for help. So I'm going to read you, this is a prayer, if you will. It's a call for help. It's whatever you want to call it. So before I read this, just stop right now. Let's do breathing. Let's take a nice deep breath in from that diaphragm, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, one more time. Let's do that again. In, out. All right, now I'm going to read this to you and just really feel this. If you want to close your eyes to really feel into this, you can do that. And I'm going to use the word God, but again, you can insert whatever, makes sense for you. If you want to say universe, goddess, creator, whatever it is, all right? Dearest God, I'm willing to release and be healed from all of my fears that keep me from receiving your guidance, help, and love. Please help me heal from any blocks that I have and prevent me from knowing your joy. Thank you and amen. All right, so that's it. That's something that you can say before you want to call on God, angels, etc., for divine guidance, right? You might want to start to say this every day to feel more deserving and more worthy of that help. And if you know, though, that this is something that's deeper within you, maybe you've already started to dig up some of the source of this and you know it goes deep, or maybe it's related to trauma and things of that nature, then this is your opportunity to think about sourcing some help. Again, what is this year's message? It's ask for help. So if you realize you have an issue around feeling deserving of things, to being able to accept help when it's given, reach out to somebody who can help you with that. There's so many great coaches out there that specialize in this kind of work. There's therapists, there's counselors, there's all kinds of help out there. So make sure you don't just struggle in silence. Thank you, Nicole. I'm glad you enjoyed that prayer, that affirmation, to really help you to remove those bonds of fear and help you connect deeply with that guidance. Right? So remember, help's all around you. All you have to do is put on your thinking cap and check into it, talk to people, ask questions, do some research, make some phone calls, send some emails. Trust me, there is help if you need it. Okay? So that's what I wanted to share about that. Yeah. Nicole, you hit the nail on the head. We're not singular beings. Nobody does it all. Even if you home cook everything, you're not doing that yourself. Unless you grew the food yourself, right? You relied on a farmer or series of farmers to grow and produce the food that you eat. You rely on a car manufacturer or other form of transportation for you to get from your place to the market to be able to purchase that stuff, right? You needed to rely on a store to be there to sell you the stuff and have a clerk there who could sell it to you so you could go home and cook your food, right? We don't do anything in a vacuum. We don't. We all need help, right? So we all need others, exactly like you said, Nicole. And it's time that we start to realize that more and more and more. So now you've done your deep breathing, you've asked your honest, heartfelt question, you've cleared out your blocks that might be holding you back from receiving the help that you need and the guidance, right? And you're recognizing where you might be getting in your own way. And the fifth key then is just start to notice now. After you've asked for help, remember, it can't be done for you. You can't just expect there's a bag of money sitting on your front porch, as much as a lot of people wish that was the case. It's now you're going to get some guidance. So you want to put your antenna up, right? Put that antenna up and start to pay attention to those repeated, that's your key. If you're taking notes, circle that. Circle it, put a star, repeated thoughts and ideas that you have, gut feelings that you have, things you see and hear over and over again, things you have a knowingness about. This is all guidance coming through for you. You just need to start to receive it and pay attention to it, right? Again, this process isn't difficult. It's in the execution that it can be a little bit tricky, right? And we get in our own way a lot. So that's why I wanted to clear this up for you. Like I said, being aware of these nuances can really, really help up your game when it comes to asking for divine guidance and making sure that you're actually able then to get that clarity that you're seeking, right? And getting answers to those deep questions that you have. So I hope that makes sense. Do you guys have any questions? I'll open it up real quick for some questions if anybody has any. I think it's pretty straightforward. But again, some of those things are just things we don't think of, right? Especially if you're, like I said, if you're in the throes of something major going on, and then you're remembering, oh, I'm supposed to ask for help. Okay, I'm gonna ask for help. But you're still like in that panicked, kind of overwhelmed feeling, and you're not taking the time to connect in with the breath. That's going to impact you, right? So that's why I wanted to just kind of clear this up. Hi, Ree, nice to have you here too. I wanted to really make this super duper clear. So like I said, if somebody asks you, is there a right way or wrong way? It's not really right or wrong. It's not like there's a specific way to ask, but it's kind of like a yes and no answer, right? Things you want to just be aware of, key things to consider as you're asking for that guidance. And the more you do it, the better and easier it gets. It is like building a muscle. The stronger, the more you do things with commitment and consistency. I always say this, you've heard me say this before. If you commit to doing this and you do it with consistency, you will get stronger and it will get easier, right? So that's why we want to put this into practice, right? So like I said, the key message this year, ask for help. How are you going to ask? You're going to start by taking some nice big deep breaths to form that connection with spirit. You're going to ask, thank you, Nicole. You're going to ask a heartfelt question, one that's really, truly something you want to know. You're going to be aware of where you're going to get in your way, which is feeling deserving or worthy of that. And you can use the prayer that I shared today to help remove some of those fears, and then put on your antenna and get ready to receive the guidance in response to the question that you've asked about. All right, so that's that. And if this is something you really do want to commit to, and you do want to do this with consistency, I have something special to invite you to. Some of you may have heard, but I am hosting a retreat this June 8th to the 10th. It's in beautiful Radium Hot Springs, British Columbia, Canada, right in the mountains. We're going to be surrounded by that awesome mountain energy. And I'm going to be teaching and sharing with you all of this. How do you access your inner guidance? How do you decipher it? Like, people are scratching their head. They're like, I don't know. And how do you then trust it enough to take action? Because if you don't take action, your angels can't fully help you, right? So that is a key step. And it's another place where we really get in our own way. So if that's something you're ready to say, you know what, I'm ready to really take this up a notch and to make this like a daily part of my life, then I invite you to check out connecttothepowerwithin.com. I will put the link below. Check it all out. See if it's speaking to you. And if it is, then I would love to have you join us. We are already half full. This isn't even until June, so it's filling up fast, you guys. Take a look. If you have any questions at all, reach out to me, post them here, send me a private message. I am more than happy to answer any of your questions about the venue, about the food, about what we're going to be doing, about anything. So definitely check into it though and see if it speaks to you. And if it does, then that might be a little tap on the shoulder that the time is now right for you to take this and to up your inner guidance game. All right, so that's what I wanted to share. Oh, you're so welcome, Stephanie. Nice to have you here as well today. If you found this helpful, you guys, please share it out. Let other people know how to ask, because like I said, this is something people are getting hung up on now. They're not asking because maybe they don't feel worthy of that or deserving of it, or they're thinking maybe they're saying it wrong, so they just stop asking because they don't know if there's a better way or right way to do it. So we don't want people to just stop asking. We just want to clarify some of these nuances so that they can do that and feel confident in the questions and the way that they're asking. So yeah, shares are always, always appreciated. Thank you guys so much for being here. Have a magnificent day, and we will see you back next week. Next week, I'm going to be here earlier, so stay tuned on the page. I will post when I will be broadcasting Takeaway Tip Tuesday next week, and hope to have you back for that. So enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and much love to all of you.